Are you looking to attract home care clients with a higher need? Let's talk about why focusing in this area is not only good for your business, but is also going to help you get results faster. Hi, my name is Nick Bonitatibus, owner and founder of Digital Champions. And on today's episode of Home Care Digital, we're talking about specifically driving greater results by focusing on specific high need clients, like areas within dementia, stroke, things of that area. The term niching down is not used very often in the home care industry. And so if you're not familiar, it's really just having a very specific focus. And so the way that I like to share is my own personal experience when I decided to niche down. Now, when it comes to marketing, when I launched my business, even though I kind of already had somewhat of a presence in the home care industry, I had this goal that I wanted to help more people. I'm like, well, if I focus on all small businesses, I can help more people. But when I launched my business, things were tended to fall flat, and I didn't understand why. The thing that happens is that when you try and help everyone, you end up helping nobody. And that's what I was experiencing. I thought that when I started my business, I would start to get referrals from people that I knew in the industry as well as other people that I knew, but it just wasn't happening. And so I started to think, so what's wrong? Why am I not getting the results that I want? And I remember going on this trip to Hawaii with one of my friends. And it was one of those situations where my business wasn't really doing that great. COVID was just kind of ending and people were allowed to travel again. And I just knew that if I went with my friend who had a successful business, that it was going to be impactful for me just being around him. And it was funny that while we were in Hawaii was when I decided that I was going to niche down and focus in home care. And when I did that, when I finally made that decision, my brain just exploded with ideas because it now gave me this much clearer focus, not only in who I was serving, but the content that I could create that would speak directly to my audience. And it's funny because my friend that I went to Hawaii with actually told me 2 years prior that I should focus in home care, but I was just resistant to niching down. But when I did, things really started to change because now people that I knew was like, oh, I didn't know you were specifically working with home care agencies. Now I'm going to refer you. And people that did own home care businesses saw that I specifically work with those agencies, so then they wanted to work with me. And I remember getting one specific client, and she signed up with me, and I said, hey, what made you sign up? And she said, well, I know there's other people that do video, but you know home care. And again, the light bulb went off. Duh, this is what every single person wants. They want to know that you are the right person for them. Now, one thing I want to be clear about niching down is that this doesn't mean that you don't serve other people that aren't within that niche. It just means that you're marketing to that niche. Other people will still come to you. If you're marketing to dementia, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get other clients. Oh, I don't have dementia, so I won't call this company. That's not how niching down works. You're still going to get leads from other people. As long as you're doing a good job and servicing clients, it will work for you. So why is it beneficial to focus on these higher need clients specifically? This becomes super impactful for the bottom line within home care because higher need means longer hours. So these dementia clients, for example, have those longer hours, which makes it more easy for you to grow and scale because less is more. A lot of times people are trying to get so many clients, but then you have less hours. And so it's a lot easier to have less clients with more hours. Not to mention, it's hard to attract good caregivers because they don't want to work 2 hours here, 4 hours there, but they will work longer if they can get those 8, 12-hour shifts. So focusing on these higher needs is really going to help. And again, it's this idea of branding yourself so that when someone does have dementia, you can say, we're the dementia experts. Just look at the content we have. Just look at our website. We brand ourselves as this entity. They go, oh, well, this company's for me because they really focus on dementia, whereas this other company is generic. So you can see that as you're looking to build your brand and you're looking to differentiate yourself, focusing on these higher needs is going to help you drive more business, and it's going to help your bottom line. So who are these higher needs? I touched on it a little bit already. Dementia is a big one. Here's a quick stat. According to the World Health Organization, the number of people living with dementia worldwide is projected to rise from 55 million in 2020 to 78 million by 2030 and up to 139 million by 2050. This is pretty wild statistics about the growing need and demand for this specific niche. And so with the growing demand of seniors in general, and you struggling to get caregivers, we need to get streamlined on who needs the care the most and who's going to be the best for the business. And so focusing into dementia is going to help you to drive greater results. Or again, you can choose other ones. Some of my clients, they do COPD, some do fall prevention, some do veterans. You can still serve all of these different audience and all of these different specialty programs. But if you say that you're good at everything, guess what? That means that you're not good at anything. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. And anyone who says different doesn't truly know. That's why for me, my thing is video. That's what we do. That's what our focus is. That's what we're best at. And so people know, right? When it comes to home care and video, that's me. And I have no competitors that I know of in this industry. So it goes to show you what's possible when you niche down. Now, obviously, there's other people that specialize in dementia and you don't have the same business as me, and I understand. But the more that you focus in these specific areas, the greater impact that you're going to have on these higher needs, as well as being able to grow and scale your business faster. And then guess what? Help more people, which is the goal. So we need to remove this idea that being broad is going to help more people. It's not. It's actually hurting you from helping more people. So when you niche down, have that streamlined focus, it will help you to be able to impact more people. And the third part of today's video is how can we then establish us in this niche once we've decided which area we want to focus on. So this is where creating content around these specific high need clients is going to help differentiate yourself and showcase that you are truly the person for them and that you truly know what you are talking about. So not only are you training your internal team about dementia, which if you've watched previous videos of mine, you can now take photos, document of people doing dementia training, showcasing that as your differentiator, but as well as showcasing yourself as the expert knowing dementia. The thing that you have to think about when it comes to education is that you're not Teepa Snow. I know she's amazing and she's got a ton of incredible background around dementia, but you don't need to be Teepa Snow to create content around these areas. My favorite lesson that is from a movie that you may have heard of, Catch Me If You Can. Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo was a little baby back then. So funny seeing that movie. Actually, I watched it recently. Still such a great movie. But what's so funny about in that movie, which is based on a true story, what happened was he taught a college class. And when they asked him, how were you able to teach to this class? He simply said, I just stayed one chapter ahead. And that is the key to being an expert in this industry, in any industry, is understanding that the majority of people don't know everything. And you're focused on the people that don't know what you know. So just by sharing what you know is more than what the general audience doesn't. And so when you think about dementia, for example, the majority of people that are going to be watching and consuming this content have just found out that their loved one has dementia and they probably know absolutely nothing. And so just giving them some of the basics that are going to help them to better manage dementia, better manage their loved one is going to be extremely impactful for them. So you don't need to know the complexities of what's happening in the brain and all the nuances and all these little things. We're just focusing on that 101 level to giving them broad information that's going to help them. What really separates us at Digital Champions is that I know home care and have been in this industry for over 10 years. And so when we're creating content, we're not just doing it from, hey, let's make some educational videos. No, we're actually focused on how can we create content that creates a need for the services that we offer. And I'll give you an example. Let's say we're talking about how to care for someone with dementia. This is targeted specifically towards a family caregiver that's really just beginning to care for their loved one. Well, in the video, we're talking about some key elements that may be nutrition. It might be keeping them active. It might be having a routine. Those are a few things that they're looking for that's great value and great tips. Well, guess what? What does a home care agency do? They do meal preparation. They help them to do activities. A home care agency provides the tools to accomplish all of those things. Not to mention, what you also do as a tip is you say, get support. How can you get support? Oh, Alzheimer's Association, dementia support groups, and also hire a home care agency that specializes in dementia. And so this is what I call light selling or strategic selling, where we're creating a need for the services that we offer, but we're doing it indirectly, right? It's this indirect sales process. We're creating a need for home care, not saying, oh, well, we're the best, so you should hire us. No, we're just saying, hey, here's some things that you should need to know, and you should probably hire a home care agency to help you in these areas. Some other really great topics around dementia that you may consider making as you're wanting to establish yourself as the go-to expert are what is sundowning and how to manage it, a very highly searched term. One of the tips around sundowning, right? Creating a routine, all of these things also helps to create a need for the home care services that we offer. Another one that one of my clients did a few years ago, her name's Dawn from Seniors Helping Seniors. She created a video on bathing with dementia that has over 11,000 views and continuing to climb day after day after day. What this showcases is that there is a huge need for this information, that you're having 11,000 people watch this video. Now, I'm not promising that if you make this video that you're going to have that same reach also, but it does showcase that there is a massive need for this content. So simply by creating this content is going to help you to attract more of these clients that have this desperate need for this information. Another topic that you may consider doing is activities or resources for someone with dementia. And so now, again, we're highlighting some of the activities that you're doing that maybe your caregivers are doing with existing clients. So then you can share these personalized stories that your caregivers are doing with these dementia clients as things that have been really helpful. One of my favorite ones when it comes to activities is music. It reminds me of the movie Coco. If you've seen it, it's one of my favorite. Yes, it's a Pixar movie. I don't care. I love Pixar. I think they're great. And Coco is one of my all-time favorite movies. And what's so cool about that movie, even though it's in this, whole crazy fantasy world, at the end of the movie, he ends up playing a song that his great-grandmother, her father, had played to her. And all of a sudden, her memory started to come back and she started to sing the song. And as I'm watching that, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a real thing. This is based on somebody who actually has dementia. When they hear music, all of a sudden their memory comes back. And it's such a cool moment because Coco, who's the great grandmother, all of a sudden starts talking and she's saying, oh, she's talking to her daughter. And then the daughter starts crying and she's like, oh, why are you crying? And she's like, nothing, Mama Coco. And it's just this like beautiful, heartfelt scene. But the fact that it's real and that music can do that and help people with dementia is so amazing. And so just share this content, please. Like, get this out there. Get the music playing. Get your loved one with dementia dancing and hearing this music and taking them back. What a cool and amazing thing that you can do. The more that we can get this out there, the more that people know that they can do this and have these really amazing events and get their loved one back, even if it's just for a moment, because we know that dementia is a really tough disease. It's really tough to deal with on a regular, consistent basis, and it doesn't get cured, right? You're really just managing it. But if you can help people to better manage it, to help bring back their loved one, even for a time being, that's the impact that you can create. Share this content, get that out there. If the content that you share can help one person to better manage their loved one with dementia, is that not worth it? Is that not what you're here to do? Create content, share about dementia. But don't worry, if you're concerned about this and you're not sure where to go and how to get started, this is what we do. We make it easy for you to create content in these areas around whatever your area you want to specialize in. So if you want to learn more about how we can help you to create this content, build a library of video assets in these specialty programs, schedule a call today at thedigitalchamps.com/connect.